comic book fans, and welcome to another suddenlycomics.com video. Right, so I've received a lot of comics in the last month, and today I decided it was time that I did some serious comic reading. So I'm going to review three of the comics that I've been reading. These are all new comics that I received yesterday or the day before, and I've sat down today and had a good old read and thoroughly enjoyed myself. So the three comics I am going to review are King of Spies by Mark Millar. And actually I've read issues 1, that was issue 1, and I've also read issue 2. I'm also going to review Animal Castle. This is Xavier, Dorison and Felix Delep. Again, I've read issue 1 and I have read issue 2. And the third book I am going to review is issue 1 of a new comic called Rain by Joe Hill and art by Zoe Thorogood. Right, so those are the three I'm going to review. Let's start off with King of Spies. Right, well, this is Mark Millar, so expect some violence, and yes, we get a lot of violence. I'm not sure how many people get killed in issues 1 and 2, but it's a heck of a lot. Right, so the premise of this story is it's about this guy here on the cover. He is a 65-year-old ex-British agent called Sir Roland. And initially we see him in action when he was a youngster. He's like a one-man army. He seems to resolve a war entirely by himself. You know, running, kicking, jumping, shooting, strangling, jumping out of planes and helicopters. I mean, you know, it's sort of like every James Bond film you've seen rolled into one with all the action in about 20 minutes. Anyway, this guy, he's now, in modern day, he is now 65, and we see him collapse in a club. And he's taken to hospital and he's informed that he has cancer, it's inoperable, and he's got 6 months to live. So he decides that, you know, up to now, during his career, he killed the people that he was told to kill, and not the people he thought deserved to be killed. So he's now got 6 months, probably only 3 months of health left. And he decides that in those 3 months, he's going to kill all the monsters, as he describes it. Well, yes, so, and in issue 2, we see him beginning the process of killing off some of the monsters. So the two guys on here are assassins who he hires them to kill 2 ex-British prime ministers who, by the description and the drawing, you are able to tell who they are meant to be. So the assassins kill the 2 British prime ministers, and then, of course, Sir Roland kills the 2 assassins. He also kills an ex-US president, again. Although fictional, by the description, we're pretty able to identify who it is. And he kills him in an aeroplane and then jumps out of the aeroplane with one of the baddies hanging onto his legs. He manages to escape. I'm not going to spoil the fun for you by telling you how he manages to do that. Right, so what did I think? Well, it's a ripping yarn. It's a rollicking read. and it's great fun. So I did enjoy reading this. It read very easily. The art, I found the art a bit confusing, especially at the start of issue one. It grew on me actually as I was going through it. Um, oh, this guy's son is also a agent, and they don't get on, so that adds a bit of fun to the story. So story really good. Art, I wasn't a huge fan. I think this cover art is really good, but the internal art, it's okay. It's okay. So, am I going to buy? The real proof of the pudding is am I going to buy the next one? Yes. Yep. 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 I'm definitely going to get King of Spies #3. So there we go. That's my first review, King of Spies by Mark Millar. Right. So next up, I have Animal Castle. Now, I think this was adapted. This came out originally in France, and this is an adaptation of the French comic into English. This was a storming. This was not many people ordered this when it came out. The first prints of these went rocketing. I have got the first prints. I did pre-order them and I paid cover price. These ones are actually the second prints. And these are the ones I've read so that I can keep my first prints nice and minty. Right, so what did I think of Animal Castle? Right, firstly, the story is like, it's a bit like George Orwell's Animal Farm. So we've got we've got a castle in the middle of a forest, and for some reason there's no people in it, and it is run by the animals. But as in Animal Farm, all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. And the bigger you are and the bigger teeth that you've got means that you have a more important place in society. You get fed better, and you can basically bully those further down the chain. And this guy here, he's a bull, I think. He is in charge. He's called King Silvio, and it's a pretty brutal story. It's all animals, but we do get quite attached to them, and a few of them get killed. But we do have a heroine. It's this little cat down here. She is our cat protagonist. And we follow her story effectively. Now, I thought this was great. The artwork is really sympathetic, beautifully drawn, really nice line drawings of the animals, really well depicted. And in issue 2, we've got the king being drawn by a sheep and a horse by the looks of it. What we discover is that this guy here is taking all the goods and taxing the people in the castles, taking their eggs, taking their wool, and even taking their carcasses, and he trades them with a human for champagne and dog biscuits. Okay, and also in this issue we meet a rat who is an actor. He sort of tells shadow stories, and he tells the story of Gandhi, and he sort of he falls foul of the dogs, but he is rescued by our hero Cat, and he tells her that the way to resist is not by matching their violence, but by overcoming with peaceful action, much like Gandhi. So we'll see how this develops, but it's an interesting story, beautifully drawn. So again, proof of the pudding. Will I be buying issue through? Oh, definitely. I'll be getting all of these. This is a really super story and really great artwork. So another one that's and if I was, if I was going to say, is these better than King of Spies? It's completely different. You can't compare the two, really. They're both comics, but, chalk and cheese. So, Animal Castle, recommended. Recommended. Right, now, the third one I've got here is, this is just issue 1 of this. I picked this up because it's by Joe Hill. I've read some. He's the son of Stephen King. He's written a few horror comics, and here we have him. He's writing one for Image, and this is issue 1. Now, what I love about this is the artwork. Now, the cover here, I'm pretty sure that's Zoe Thorogood. And she has done all the artwork in the interior of this comic. Now, I've seen a lot of cover artwork by Zoe Thorogood, but I've never actually seen her do a whole comic. This is, the artwork in this is simply stunning. And it works really well. The story is really heartbreaking and beautifully told. I think this is adapted from a Joe Hill book. I think this David Buer has adapted this for comics. This is issue 1, but actually it stands alone by itself as a complete read. You could just if you just want to buy one and read this, it works. It's got a beginning, a middle, and an end. As I say, heartbreaking. It's a sort of love story, and the artwork by Zoe Thorogood, unbelievably good. I met Zoe at Thought Bubble in Harrogate back in November. A really super lady, and she signed a number of comics for me. If she's going to Thought Bubble again, I will definitely be getting her to sign a copy of Rain issue 1. Right, okay, so you can tell I'm a big fan of this. Will I be getting the next one? Yes, definitely. In fact, of all the comics that I've read so far in 2021, this is my favorite comic so far this year, and really recommend you find a copy of Rain #1. Just sit and drink in the artwork. It is fabulous. Okay, enough said. There we go. No comic book haul. I'm just doing reviews of comics. I've reviewed those 3 and I loved all 3 of them. I really do think we are in another golden age of comics. The quality of the writing and the quality of the artwork of comics that is being produced at the moment simply is fantastic. So I've got a full year of this to look forward to, some great comics to look forward to. I look forward to the rest of 2022. Enough said.